she's already very imaginative.
Yeah.
So she's the type, like her dreams.
Yeah.
Sober.
Yeah.
Are like Narnia. Like there's fictional
That's
characters.
dope. That's dope.
There's all these things. It's like, did you have any dreams? Like, nah.
No.
Like, I'm regular.
Right.
Well,
so
what's your shroom experience? What do you get when you hit the shroom?
It's it's more to get in touch with myself.
Yeah.
My feelings.
Yeah.
It's not I'm a masculine man, so for me, I have trouble connecting with my just being centered.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And just being like in present mood
Yeah.
and just like reflecting.
Are you one of those that you like pick and choose where you decide to shroom? Because like, let's say you're uncomfortable being around other people. Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna
Yeah,
Big
that's
time.
disorienting. Almost as much as being on shrooms.
Big time. I'm highly selective of not only where I do shrooms,
and who you do it with.
who I do it with.
Yeah, so that's important.
Set
and
It's very important.
And not only that, I'm a big advocate for teaching young homies. Not that I'm saying to do it, but if you're gonna do it, know how to do it. So many homies in the minority community, whether Latino or Black, do not know how to do psychedelics properly. Homies are uneducated.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to psychedelics, we're 15 years behind the white community.
No, yeah, I think
all my white
most
homies,
popular-
they've been doing that shit since like high school.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
like
yeah.
04,
LSD
03.
and acid. And
Yeah,
shit,
but they have so
but they
much
have
more
it.
experience, and so like I never really got into it till like probably the pandemic is when I started like being.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Right,
Yeah.
and that's when I really started. I got so good at it that like I started going on stage tripping.
Okay, I know. Josh Wolf does that. He
Yeah.
does that for certain shows.
I have if you guys ever want to check out YouTube Martin Amini on mushrooms, there's a documentary.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
I did 2 shows, 2 hours on shrooms, and the entire time I'm just yelling at the crowd, "Stop listening to trap music, listen to jazz." Dog, I'm going off on the crowd. And the crowd's like, they're like, "Oh, maybe I should listen to jazz." Like all these like young.
Was it a good set? And at least
I
in your
thought-
head?
I thought it was
so.
great,
You had
bro.
fun.
Yeah.
I had great.
And the
I had a
crowd was
great
like,
time.
there was something different about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
He's different than the
Yeah.
clips.
But the bro, like lockdown, because we did. I was doing shows in DC, but DC was on lockdown, so we had to go to Virginia.
Okay.
And Virginia was open, so yeah, everyone pulled up to Virginia to see me, and I think people were just excited to hear like it was anything live to be
Bro,
like,
because you need something, some type of connection. But wait, this was like when we first came back from it.
No, it was during.
It was
Oh,
during.
okay.
During.
Where'd you do it?
Arlington Draft House in Virginia. It was one of the only few clubs on the.
Some underground shit, huh?
No, it was Virginia was open,
Oh, okay.
kind of like Florida. I don't
Kind
know
of
if-
like Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
was the improv
for like
open?
a week or two.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, no, closed.
it was closed for a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, but yeah.
But it was open. Maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah,
capacity
yeah.
was like what 50% or full.
Yeah.
VA was like 50%, right? But
Yeah.
it's a 300 seater, so like
So
we had
150, and
we had
then you do the
150,
spacing, yeah.
and then bro, I kind of I didn't mark it on my story. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be on shrooms.
Yeah.
Just letting y'all know.
Right.
And then, bro,
Yeah.
half the crowd pulled up on shrooms.
Of course.
So now we're all
okay.
just
They're
like
on the
we're all
same-
kind of like
that's dope, that's
vibing,
dope,
bro,
that's
and
dope.
everyone was like, yeah. The mic went out when I was on stage. That was weird. So then
And you didn't know if it was like real or not. Like, am I tripping?
No, I felt like I was doing a town hall meeting. We had a trip. Last week. We were in San Francisco. We did the Palace Fine Theater of Arts. Beautiful 1,000-seater joint. My first theater in San Francisco. I did a little bit of shrooms before going on stage, just to like, I'm in SF. Let me get in touch with the feelings. Dog, the mic went out twice. Not to shit on the venue, but the staff wasn't necessarily up to, some venues,
Get
some,
it. Yeah.
and get it. In some cities, they're like, yo, we don't want to work tonight.
Yeah.
Like, we good on this work thing. You know what I mean? And, Jaime was with me, thank God. And, like, my team were, like, they were on it. Like, yo, like, get the spotlight, change it. Like, the lights are too bright. Well, they were doing all these things while I was on stage. And I'm like, geek. I'm like, yeah, like, whatever. I'm zenning. But that's the when you know how to do shrooms the right way.
Yes.
You can, first off, little things don't trigger you like
Right.
they regular would. And you can, really reach your full potential. And all my Jaime was like, damn, dog, I was worried about you on stage. Like, the mic went out twice. I thought you were going to be super upset. I'm like, nah, we good, baby.
Well, I mean, that shows about like your character and who you are. The fact that you're able to just compose yourself and be in the moment and not stress it out and do it. Because I know a lot of comics, like when they say microdosing now and stuff.
Right.
Have you ever written any comedy or jokes on shrooms?
What I would do is
Or do you write on stage? Like, what's your process?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on stage, I would say some shit
Okay.
that would not be in my set.
Right.
And I go back. I'm like, yo, I said something.
That was it. Okay.
What did I say?
Okay.
That joint
Yeah.
was killing.
Yeah.
And I go, and then I'll be in the meet and greet. I'm like, it was talking about pandemic pussy, wearing mask while you fuck. And then I go, Jaime, write that down.
Yeah.
I'll be like doing a picture with
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
me,
yeah,
like while
yeah.
I'm like doing a
Right.
picture, and I'm like, and he's like, pandemic.
Shout out to Jaime.
Putting
Jaime.
Lysol on the pussy. like, but it'll be like these stream of thoughts, and then you're like, oh, okay, boom, let's go, and then I'm like, all right, like now in the next show when I'm sober, bring that joint.
Yeah, and then tweak it, and then work it
out.
Damn.
But that's all you need is like a couple lines, and then all of a sudden, like a stream of consciousness. Always you need 2-3 lines, and then floodgates.
Yeah. It's just the topic or the substance, and then boom.
Something that you would never even say during your regular set.
Right. Yeah,
which,
that's dope.
You got to experiment, but you got to know when. You got to pick your moments, because sometimes I remember when I started doing them 2 years ago, and I'd be in the green room and young homies. I didn't. Sometimes you don't realize how. People be looking up to you. People listen, like younger comics, they really like listen to.
Yes.
So when I was going through my like, oh man, this is my career's about to change. I'm like flowing. I'm writing so much. Young homies are listening, like, oh shit, maybe I need to, try some shit. And then I come back like 6 months later after being on tour. I come back home and I see the young comics like just wearing mushroom merchandise, like, bro, all tripped out.
All into it.
Like my black homies just like, yeah, bro, I do shrooms every day because of you. I'm like, no, I was like, bro, I didn't say that.
Yeah, it's like that's not how it works. You can't do that.
They mixing alcohol and shrooms. They doing all types. I'm like, bro, don't do it like that. You got to space it out
for sure. Yeah.
But then sometimes I forget, like, bro, I gotta be more responsible with what I put out, like my energy, because sometimes like if you catch me in a certain moment, I'm talking shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't really fully done all the research.
Does it still kind of like blow your mind how, like you said, that you didn't realize how the young ones are now looking up to you? Like how when did that first come about, and like how does that change from you as a comic?
I think I might have noticed it maybe 6 to 8 months ago, but like it was more so like when I started doing more so the relationship stuff on stage, and people coming, like young homies coming on stage and just listening to me.
Yeah.
Not and me roasting them, but like them receiving it as if like, oh, that's big bro talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not like, because like you could tell if they respect you or not by the way they react.
Yes.
If they just receive it and they smile, like if I'm like, yo, dog, like, like get your hands out your pockets.
Yeah.
Yo, you talking to her, like, make eye contact, be masculine. They don't like, no, they're like, you right, dog, you right. Like, and so like even my mom's like I was talking to my mom last night because she watches all my YouTube and shit, and she'd be like, damn, like these guys really like listen to you. Like they look up, because like because I think a lot of the young homies now that are trying to like, whether it's like find love or find a girl or find themselves, like they don't, it's like the cell phone generation where they didn't really have a lot of practice talking to girls or approaching people.
Yeah.
Like I feel like back in the day,
you had to.
In the night, bro, that's all you had.
I remember.
Was like just like
you had pen and paper.
Especially if you weren't like the best looking homie or you weren't athletic, you had to have some type of personality, or you had to really develop those skills.
Yep.
Where a lot of the young ugly homies don't have the ability to work on the charm or like be entertaining or do something.
Like my generation now, like all they got are Twitter fingers. Like when it comes to DMing and sending a message or something like that, it's like, oh, I got 1,000 lines, I got stuff saved in my notes.
Well, you can see like in person and low key they come off a little like with like autistic, because these homies be like because they don't know how to.
No, you're right.
Like the most basic stuff, and it's like, bro, I gotta be big bro to a lot of these young homies, and then, I didn't really anticipate that role, like me being the guy that people look up to as like, oh, this is the dude we need to listen to.
Yeah.
But
it's, I mean, generational. You learn, right? Because same thing that I'm saying. Back in the day, you would have to go, if you see a girl and you wanted her number, you had to go up to her, pen and paper, get it. Now it's like, let me get your IG.
Right.
Then you walk away. You don't even talk to her.
Yeah.
And then they're looking through her stuff, and then they start to, it's like, like, let me get your IG? Cool. And then walk away, and the girl's like, what the hell? That's all you wanted? But it's just that gap of, like you said, autistic.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit. I mean, there's no other way to. How do you? That's the best way to describe it,
right? The
right?
thing is, like, it's like that's when you're autistic. That's what you lack in, is that social deficiency.
You could start to, because like back in the day we didn't even know what that was. Right? But now you see a homie like not make like kind of like down, like not be into comic books, and you're like, oh, like he was back in the day, like, oh, he's a weird homie.
Yeah.
But now, like, he just likes anime, right?
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball Z homie.
Yeah.
But now you're like, oh, he got the tism.
Good, right? And that's fine.
Yeah, there's no there's no judgment.
Yeah.
It's just, but sometimes in order to like navigate life, you got to be able to categorize and know what you're dealing with.
For sure.
Instead of being like, oh, homie's weird, you got to be like, oh, homie might be like, so you got to talk like slower. You got like.
You got to take in the information.
But what I'm dealing with now in real time, bro, is I don't know how, like, I'm having trouble learning. I've softened a lot in regards to how I talk to people. Like
Right.
I've really like this is
Yeah.
like the nice version of me. But bro, like even Jaime knows like I be going like because a lot of even the people I work with are 10 years younger than me.
Right.
They're like 22, 23. That whole generation, bro, like they're very like sensitive. They're just different. And one thing, this line is from someone else, but the young generation, they'll respect your pronouns before they respect you.
That's true.
That's like that's not my line, but it's a
great
perfect
line.
bar
Yeah.
to describe the new generation.
Right.
They are so
I
disrespectful.
don't know how did that happen. When did that happen?
Bro,
Was
internet,
it no?
dude.
Was
People
it
just
was
fire
it?
off now.
I mean, I don't know who said it, but is it because we started giving out participation trophies to all the kids who didn't win the game, and then now they feel like they?
Well, I think it's the
You know?
internet, dude, because like everybody's
Everybody's
like,
got a voice.
Everybody's got a voice, and also you get those knee jerk reactions, and that becomes like your mental, just like regular, where you see something online that makes you upset, and you just start commenting.
Just basic shit. That what's the homie in Houston's name? The rapper that we co-owner of Dios. Steak and Shrimp, right? This dude, he tours with Currency. He's a Houston rapper.
Those are some crazy names you just threw at us, by the way. Steak and Shrimp and Currency.
Yeah, so
I know Currency, but I never heard of
so
Steak
homie
and Shrimp.
Steak and Shrimp.
Shout out to Steak and
He's
Shrimp.
co-owner of Dios, which is like a poppin' clothing brand in Houston,
Okay.
right?
Nice.
And super like top brands, and they have they came up under. You could really see the difference in cities because now that I'm on tour, you know, we're like a city, like this is a real community.
Yeah.
Meaning like a lot of the generations help the other they come back and like
Yeah.
Bun B.
Yes, Houston has that.
DJ, I'm missing all the notable Houston figures.
Paul
like,
Wall,
Paul
Lil
Wall,
Flip.
like
Yeah.
Lil Flip.
Yeah.
DJ Screw.
Steve Francis. I don't know. I know he played with the
He's
Rockets.
actually from Maryland. That's
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he went to high school, not too far from me.
Baller.
But anyway, these older homies, they come back and they do like they perform at the store.
Yeah.
They like they they took some of them took the Steak and Shrimp like on tour.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he was able to and when I'm talking to him, we're interviewing him. I'm doing a vlog on YouTube on him. He was the first thing he did was give his flowers to the older heads that like he came up under.
That put him,
First
yeah.
thing he did was
Yeah.
give credit.
Yeah.
Bro, one thing about and me and Steak, we're around the same age.
Yeah.
And that's something that like that's my class. Like we always pay homage to
Right.
like the people that came
Of course.
before us.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to explain to the younger heads because like growing up, I remember like my parents would always be like, yo, if an older person walks in, like a senior, you stand up,
Respect, yes.
you shake their
Yeah.
hand,
Yes.
you make eye contact, like just little shit that like I took it for when you're young, you don't really like
Right.
like let me stand up, shake it.
But now you see the value in it.
Yeah,
A lot more,
it's about
yeah.
being a real adult, man, right? Baseline shit,
Basic things.
bro. Like basic things that
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is like the minimum, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, bro, like if you see a young kid doing that, like, wow, like,
Yes.
it's
Yes. You catch it
It's a
right
novelty.
away. You catch
yeah,
it
because
right away.
you don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
These are
I
older.
mean, Sebastian's like that. He's a young kid, and he's
But
got.
I was beaten as a child as well. So
There it is.
Yeah,
That
there you
helps.
go.
That's
It helps,
growing up
you
in
know?
Miami.
Man, thank God you were
So
beaten.
you know what? I like that.
I'm
Let's
thankful.
shift to where we're at right now. Talk about Miami because before we got rolling, we were like on fire with some content. So
Yeah.
we're at a day in Miami, and we were talking about. You were saying that there's something going on in Miami. Everybody's got like a little.
Yeah, it's a lot of eccentric homies.
That's a great way to put it.
Nah, like,
Eccentric.
it's a lot of like everyone's a character, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody walks around like we're all dancing and stuff. I'm like, yeah, because we feel
Yeah.
the beat in our head. I hear Celia Cruz, and I just can't help as I'm walking down the street.
Bro, it's like there's like a rhythm even to the way people talk. You know,
Yeah.
it's like everyone's like got that radio, announcer voice. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And so it's like,
Sábado Gigante, like Francisco.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And so, but no, it's beautiful. It's a lot. You know,
What do you mean a lot?
you gotta like make sure you get like 8 hours of sleep before you come to Miami because it's gonna like
Because you're not gonna sleep once you're here.
No,
Yeah.
you're not gonna sleep, and the people are just like the energy's like
Yeah.
it's just turned up.
Go.
And you were saying also about sleep that you got catfish too while you
Bro,
were here?
I got my Airbnb catfish me the second time in a row, bro.
Catfish by
Damn.
Airbnb.
Nah, because what they do is they show all these like dope ass pictures. You look at the beds, everything looks clean, it looks
Yeah.
nice, and then you get inside. There's like, bro, it's like the beds are like twin beds. Like, there's no towels. You know, it's just in the
There's
middle
no
of nowhere.
towels.
There's
Is that
no there's no pavement to get to the door. You gotta
What?
get
It's
through-
just grass?
yeah. You got
Yeah.
there's like chickens everywhere. I'm
Yo,
like, bro,
that's,
like
that's,
where-
that's normal.
I'm like, yeah, where?
Yeah.
The people who run the Airbnb can't control that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Those are
that's-
just
that's-
wild animals down
That's
here.
just chickens.
Yeah.
That's their pets. But it's funny. It's like the house is still under construction. The guy's still coming in and fixing it. Like, no, pay me. We'll be done soon, bro. Don't worry about it. We got you.
Just don't touch these wires right here. They're hanging.
Yeah. No, besides that though is okay. I just I need to get like better sleep. Sleep in Miami is important because you gotta
it is
because the nighttime gets crazy.
Yeah, it does. So I like to ask this to a few guys. You say from DC, right?
Yeah, DC.
So growing up in DC, what would you think somebody from DC or anywhere else would think a typical day in Miami is? Let's say on a Saturday. What somebody an outsider thinks a typical day in Miami looks like?
Well, first off, DC, a lot of homies that grew up in the DMV. DMV stands for DC, Maryland, Virginia. Miami has always been it's like the cool cousin, the exotic cousin to DC, the DMV, because this is where we all go for summer breaks.
Okay.
Cool. We have this one area called Ocean City in Maryland, but if you got money and if you or if you want to like be about that, everyone goes to Miami.
Yeah.
That's the destination.
Yeah.
And so cuz like we have a big like nightclub culture in the DMV, and that's all the the DC All-Stars come to Miami. You know what I mean? Like if you can make if you like at the top of the food chain in DC,
you get here.
and you come to like give me, and they want to conquer more.
Right.
They come to Miami to to be a part of that's like the real NBA of like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You go to the league.
Yeah, you go to the league, right?
Yeah.
And so I was never really a part. I would always like when I was younger, I'd watch on Facebook what was happening. I was because I was never like a nightclub all-star,
Right.
But
you balled D1, but maybe
I
never got to the league.
I was never I was a G League, summer camp type, but I had some homies but it's always been so they look at Miami as like I think they look at it's like where all the beautiful people are. This is where the action is, and it's where anything could happen. It's like the East Coast Vegas.
Yeah. I agree. So you're not into clubs, but will you be clubbing when you're down here this time around?
No, my wife and I, we live a wholesome life. I think because shout out to my wife here, like 5 feet away. I had the opportunity to club pretty hard 2 years ago. I was opening for Matt Wright, my homie Matt, at the Improv.
Yep.
It was like the month before he blew up.
Crazy shows.
That was almost I think the last show he had before he blew up.
Yeah. And me and my wife at the time were dating, and we were going through like we had a fight, and my homie Matt and the crew were like, yo, we about to go to the club, like, yo, come with us. And it was like a very pivotal time. Every man who's married or in a relationship, there's a moment. It was the Miami, it was literally the angel and the devil on my shoulders, and I had to make a decision because if I were to go to that club that night, I wouldn't. Me and her, it would have been over.
She wouldn't be here right now.
No,
right?
It all happened for a reason.
We were going through something, and then the homies were like, "Yo, like we got this table, we got the Miami Heat play, everything
it's
like
popping."
Yeah, and then I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go to the hotel and cry." But the thing is, like, when you hear cry, like, oh, that's a sad story. But nah, that's what marriage is. That's what a relationship is. You got time in, and that night turned into marriage.
And here we are.
And here we are now.
It's amazing.
Gotcha. It's got me a good one.
Speaking of the relationships, though, I wanted to get a little more information on like when you started doing the whole relationship and like the matchmaker part of the show, because obviously you don't start off as an open micer, bringing people up. So when was it that you were like, this works and I like doing this? Like, how did that start?
One of the funniest things you'll ever see at his show.
Good.
Bro,
it's so good.
And Miami by far has the most legendary moments.
I still remember last year's.
I've been doing comedy 16 years and I've seen it all. So I like sometimes don't watch the shows. I always watch that part of the show. It's you cannot miss this part of the show.
And Miami's got by far the best moment. Like we gotta do a Miami compilation. The amount of like crazy kisses on stage, like bro, the kisses in Miami are undefeated.
Yeah.
But to answer your question on the evolution of how we got here, well, first off, being inspired by like my healthy relationship, my marriage is a beautiful. I think first off, you need to have some good like a good perspective, right, on how to have a relationship before otherwise it can get real toxic.
Yes,
very very fast.
Perfect word.
Which isn't necessarily my brand. Not judging other homies out there doing their thing, but like I really do have like an intention of helping people not just find love, but find their connection or learn how to get to that point in their life where they can have the ability to find their match, right? And I think that has to come from a place where it's like genuine, right? Mm-hmm. Being married, but also like the evolution of crowd work. I think like starting with like Andrew Schultz like 5-6 years ago, posting clips.
Yep.
A lot of young homies like myself coming up after the pandemic, posting like just the standard, like, you know, what's your name, what do you do?
Yes.
Going viral off just that.
Yep.
Then seeing other people start to do it and like, all right, how can I take this to the next? Because then it goes like, oh, y'all in a relationship, and then everyone else starts doing that.
Yes.
Then it's like, okay, like
yeah.
And then, like, you know, not to toot my own horn, bro, but now you see like a lot of homies trying to do this shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like
we've seen whole shows come through just do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, I feel like I'm the best at it personally. Like
I can stamp that. I agree.
I agree.
I've
And
seen
it's
it,
like-
and there's nothing like this one.
it's not, it's just because it's off the real shit. And
But yeah, it comes from a real place.
it comes from a
You
real
feel
place,
it,
bro.
you know
It's
it,
new,
yeah.
and like people really do trust me.
Bro.
If I say like, yo, fall back, like,
yeah,
fall back, bro.
It's crazy because you like became this like relationship guru, therapist, like teacher, professor, and all into one thing as part of being a comedian. And it's like it all comes back to now you saying the young people looking up to you and respecting you, and it's just because it comes from a natural place, because they know you're real.
I think
you're not
it's
just
like regular
bullshitting.
stand up too. It's like
Yeah.
if you're doing a bit that is like not authentic to you, that you're not fully invested in, the audience smells that like a shark,
Yeah.
and they're gonna feel that. The same thing as doing anything on that stage. If you're not fully invested, like the audience is gonna know. If you're doing it for the wrong intentions, the audience is gonna feel that, and they're not gonna react that way.
Right.
Dog, last week we're in San Francisco, right at the show I was on Shrooms. That particular show, we had 3 homies DM me trying to propose on stage that night.
Damn.
3, not 1, not 2. So the first one who DM me, he sent me a message. He sent me a nice message. And we said yes, and then we like did a Zoom. Jaime set up a Zoom where I talked to him, and we're gonna, you know, when we put out the YouTube, it's gonna include the Zoom of me talking,
right.
like going over it. And then the 2 other homies, I was like, nah, sorry, like, you know, we can't have more than 1.
Yeah.
But now it was just very it's getting to a place where we're seeing the evolution of like people getting matched to people trying to get married to like I do think like in 2024 the climate right now is this dating like relationship stuff is like is hot. Like obviously we're going through an election season. I think people are a little burnt out. They're tired. They don't want to deal with that type of shit. They just want to find their match. They want to like, you know, and that's like, and call it a day. I think we're just tired.
Yeah.
I think we're burnt out, and we just want to find
Yeah, I
something
mean, biggest
real.
TV show on TV right now is Love Island. It's all
Love
about
Island.
relationship, trying to find, you know, matches and all that crap.
Yeah. Have you seen Love Is Blind Habibi, the Middle Eastern one?
No.
Bro, that one is my favorite.
Do you need
dog.
a VPN for that? Or you can pull it up on Netflix.
No, it's on
regularly?
Netflix. It's like one of the best. It's one of the. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
because
it's on my top.
It's very similar to Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Because have you seen that one? Have you
Yes.
seen that one?
Yeah.
Yo, those young homies are so like honest. They're like, I like your titties,
Yeah.
like, right? But like, yo, when you watch that one, you're like, it's so endearing. It's so it's so like, there's in the Middle Eastern men are like kind of like low key. They're like, they're like that. They don't really hide back. They're like, you know,
Yeah.
because they think they're being romantic.
Oh, it's probably the
hilarious.
least culture with the least game that they have. Yeah,
But I watch it and I'm like watching it with my wife, and I'm like, yo, this shit's.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's
He's
funny.
Like, that guy's like, he's like, he reminds me of my uncle. But yeah, bro, I think like that shit is high, and I
so
think.
What's one of the like wildest things that have happened with that part of the show? Well, first of all, has anybody?
Okay.
you
I
seen, like, the
already
stories?
got one. I already got one.
Okay.
All right. Because I wanted to know, has anybody actually connected?
I screenshot it. Of course, yeah, of course.
But not connected like that. They're the next time you come back to town, they're like in a relationship.
Okay, hold on. I got screenshotted this one.
Story. Let's hear this story.
This is a comment I got 8 hours ago on my YouTube. This homie's been spamming me. Okay, here's what he wrote. Martin, this is Pocho from the Houston. I went on stage drunk as fuck. Can you please not post me? It was the second show on Friday night. I blacked out, bro. My wife was there. She left my ass there, and I took my shirt off and started doing push-ups, laughing my ass off. Please, bro. Cry emoji. Don't post it, please. I know Houston's after the Charlotte. He keeps track of all the cities I'm doing. This homie came on stage and started like, he took it like, first, I was like, a bunch of guys came on stage and they're all competing for this one girl.
Right.
Homie was like, yo, how can I top these guys? He took off his shirt and started doing push-ups on stage, dog.
Damn.
Yeah, bro, he was lit. And,
Hey, don't worry, Pocho. Nobody's gonna know about this. Just us.
Just people in Miami. That's it.
Just
Don't worry
us
about it.
and everybody else.
I think that's probably one of the this homie right here was, you know, I think top 5 as far as like craziest, you know, a homie coming on stage with his wife in the audience, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
But have any relationships like from the
Came out
matchmaking
after?
gone
Yes.
on to be like actual successful relationships?
I think we had in Dallas, we had a cop come on stage and we found another lady cop.
Ooh.
And
Same department.
I know different jurisdictions.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Avoid the HR nightmare.
Yes, and I believe she had. I think he had a kid, and I think she had a kid. So I think it kind of matched up a little bit, and that was like one of my favorites matches. I got to do more follow-ups and figure out who, because it's almost been over a year. So I think by now, a year is a good time to like know.
Yeah,
that's your next documentary right there. All the matchups that you've done in the past and seeing what's happened.
There's been so many, and we've been touring nonstop, and so I think now that it's been over, because we want to retire it in the spring.
Okay,
we want to just
forever.
Yeah, I think like we want to let it breathe, and then and get back to like some of the basics.
Okay,
because I think you don't want to. It was a cool run, but now that we're seeing so many people try to like do it, it's bro,
it's
like
oversaturated,
and no one really knows who the original is, and I think like
we know.
I know, I think a lot of clubs do know, but the people don't, and it's like it's okay. Like I think like we have so much content online, and so much great moments, but you don't want to chase like viral moments. You want to kind of create.
You let them happen naturally.
Come up with a new concept. You know what I mean? And I admire a lot of there's a lot of young comics or comics in general doing like dope shit, like creatively to keep, because we're living in this time where it's like this stand up is evolving. Like the content, putting it out every day is really like moving it in a different direction. Whether it's like crowd work or like working out new premise, like now we got to put out everything. So we have to find new creative ways to like write new material, but also keep like, keep the crowd engaged while like not putting out all our jokes. Yeah. So that's like that's why the matchmaking was really cool. Yeah. But I do want to just give it a little breather. And
man, I guarantee you there's a baby out there somewhere because of this matchmaking show.
Oh, bro.
Out there. And his name's Martin, too. It better be. even if it's a girl, man. It has to be Martin or Martina or something like that. Well, bro, we love you down here. Can't wait to see what comes out next. And this week at Miami Improv, you know where it's at.
Yes,
Thank you,
see
man.
y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Boom.